This intervention is playing a long game in our world. What's a long game? A long game is you have long-term goals, and you're willing to take a lot of time to achieve them based upon the circumstances that you're engaged with. With humanity, most of our goals are short-term goals. We want to achieve this by this point in time, immediately or soon. Long-range goals are something much, much bigger than that. And it makes it harder for us to understand that because the progress in achieving those goals is very incremental and very slow. And we don't see it and recognize that it's actually part of that process. There's a history in war that demonstrates this in our own relatively current times. In Vietnam, the United States was playing a short-term game. They have to win the war within a certain amount of time. To the Viet Cong, they will take whatever time it takes. If it takes 20 years, they're still fighting. And they defeated us because they're playing a long game. We were playing a short game. So the long game is very important because the intervening forces know that they must win us over without the use of force. How are they going to do that? By persuasion, on one hand, for those who can respond, and by discouragement for those who cannot respond. Those who want to respond, oh, they're here for us. This is great. We'll be able to do so much. They can help us. To those who don't want to respond, they're here. We can't do anything. They've already taken over. It's all over. So you can see how easy it is at the mental level to encourage people in ways they shouldn't be encouraged and discourage other people in ways they should not be discouraged. But in the mental environment, it's the unseen environment of persuasion. And we know about this. We use it to persuade our children. We try to persuade each other. Governments try to persuade the thinking of their populations. I mean, this is very well established in the world, but not at this level. You're going to persuade an entire world that outnumbers you tremendously and that you cannot conquer by force, really, with what you have. It's going to have to be through the mental environment that this takes place. And this is something that, goes sight unseen. You just feel it, you sense it, perhaps. You have feelings that are not your own, perhaps. What's making you feel the way you are, not sure. You can cast influence over many people without ever knowing where it comes from. Maybe they assign it to other people, other factors. Maybe they blame it upon themselves. But not everything we think and feel is coming from us, because we live in a mental environment, a human mental environment, and we're impacted by that environment daily, almost constantly. To be able to engage in this long game, they're going to use cunning, deception, and the promises of peace, wealth, and power to build their presence in the world. And they will await the time when human civilization will decline. Climate change, resource depletion, the impacts of war and conflict, to a point where they can announce themselves openly or assume powers behind the scenes. Because by that point, we will be too weak to resist or too unable to resist. But it takes a long time to prepare for that eventuality. And that is a realistic eventuality. Climate change isn't just about it's warmer today than it was 5 years ago. Climate change could destroy a massive amount of the world's fresh water and agriculture. Think what that would do. It can make living in certain parts of the world uninhabitable, where millions and tens of millions of people live. Then what are you going to do? Climate change is huge. We're creating it, but they're using it to their benefit. They've been watching us for 100 years. We've been broadcasting out into space through various means, ever-growing means, for 100 years, telling the discrete observer everywhere about who we are, how we behave, our conflicts, our problems, our failures, how we're destructing the world, destroying the world, how we destroy each other. So you can imagine that a discrete observer would, over time, gain a pretty low opinion of us. Wow, they're intelligent, but they're warlike and destructive. And they're destroying a planet of incredible value. I mean, planet Earth is like a jewel in the universe. You might get a planet like this out of 1 in 10 or 20,000 planets, if that. So we have been educating them about us unknowingly and continue to do so. So they came here well prepared for us, but we're not prepared for them. They know how we think. They may not understand our spirituality or our deeper nature, but they know what motivates us, what confuses us, what attracts us, what discourages us, and they know our behavior. all which can be used to promote themselves in competition or in contrast to all of that.